What's next? What's next for us? We watched Christ be born. We watched Christ get baptized. We walked along the dusty roads in the rural villages as we witnessed miracles. We observed the transfiguration. We marched into Jerusalem. We entered the city. People were shouting and waving palms. Our leader gave himself up to authorities. We watched him get beaten, questioned, tortured, and nailed to a cross. Then we watched as he resurrected, as he saved the world while we thought he was dead. And the finale? He moved to sit at the right hand of God the Father. Jesus went home. So I repeat, what's next for us? How can anything we do, how can anything we experience be better than what we've experienced so far over the last few months? I mean, Christ beat death. Surely our work's done, right? Recently, I heard a sermon. It was actually, I say recently, it was a few years ago. That's recent. And the Reverend Dr. John C. Tolles told a story in the midst of it that I'm going to share with you now because it's both silly, like myself, and also meaningful, also like myself. There's a man named Boudreaux down in Louisiana. Loves to fish. During the months that the fish typically don't bite, Boudreaux was still hauling in boatloads of catfish and bass, and intrigued, the local game warden asked if he could tag along with Boudreaux for one of his epic fishing trips. Boudreaux didn't care. He just wanted to fish. So, early the next morning, the game warden met Boudreaux out at the lake outside of town, and the two of them hopped into a boat. One was ready to fish, and the other one was ready to talk, but also to observe the mystery that is Boudreaux catching fish. Boudreaux, he was a simple guy. Didn't have much to say. Well, he was one of those guys. He's a lot like Mark Lau. Just doesn't say much, but you know there's something going on there. If you ever find out what that is, please tell me. Boudreaux rode his old boat in the middle of the lake, and he stopped. And he just took a moment. Breathed in the air, looked around at the beauty surrounding him. The game warden just sat there, patiently letting him have his moment. Satisfied with that holiness that only the outdoors can bring somebody like Boudreaux, he then looked at the warden after he opened his eyes, and he looked down at a box that was at the warden's feet. And never breaking eye contact, he reached down and he unlatched the box and he opened it. And there on a bed of straw lay 30 gleaming pieces of dynamite. Boudreaux took hold of one of the sticks, lit the fuse with some matches he'd tucked away, and waited a second, and looked at the warden, and just tossed it out the side of the boat. The explosion was deafening. One by one, bloop, 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 bloop. Fish started just raising up to the surface. Now, I've never been fishing before, but I imagine this is how I would do it. Because Boudreaux, not missing a beat, just grabbed a net and started swiping it across the water and hauling in tons of fish. The game warden is apoplectic at this point. He does not know what to do with himself. He has lost all ability to speak. When he finally regains his speech, what he does is he says, "You can't do that." Boudreaux just looks at him. "You can't. Do you know how many laws you just broke? Do you know what you're doing here?" And his voice just kept getting progressively higher. "Do you know how dangerous this is?" Boudreaux, still a man of few words, just calmly looked back at the warden, then back down at the box of dynamite. And slowly he reached down and he grabbed another stick and he lit it. And he looked at the warden square in the eyes and he handed it to him. He said, "Did you come here to talk or did you come here to fish?" So I'll ask again, what's next for us? We're all here on a Sunday morning, the culmination of all the stuff that's happened before. I mean, we went through Lent, we made it through, we gave up some stuff, we took on some stuff. We've come through the last couple of months, hopefully as better versions of ourselves. We're about to begin Eastertide and surf on into Pentecost, and then we'll head into something called ordinary time. What? Now, ordinary time is not supposed to be some unspecial time where you just get to do whatever you want and skip church and all that good stuff. I need to tell you that. I also want to say that I don't want to forget all the growth that we just all experienced, or most of us. And lastly, I do not plan to be ordinary, ever. No matter how often you come to church, whether it's twice a year, twice a week, in June's case, twice a day, or in some of your cases, you haven't been here in years, every single one of us here, every single one of us has a choice to make. Did we all come to talk the talk? Just to sit in meetings and, talk about what we think? Or did we come to fish? Didn't Jesus' first conversation with the disciples sound something like, "Hey, come with me and I'll teach y'all how to fish for humans"? It's in the Bible. If you haven't read it, it's like right at the beginning. So after everything we know, after everything we've experienced, don't you think we should risk a little bit as the church, as Christians? Did Jesus risk anything? If you said no to that, I'm going to need you to see me after church. Sometimes walking out into the world armed with faith alone can seem like fishing with dynamite, can't it? It can be dangerous. People don't always respond to God's message and the evangelism that we have the way they hope they would. This use of holy dynamite is distracting sometimes. We don't always know how to approach people about faith. And then we, overcommit on the side of being a little too joyful, or another word for that is crazy. And they get turned off. People just don't want to hear the message anymore, do they? They look at their phones or they look at whatever's in front of them. They would literally rather do anything than listen to what is being said about Jesus. Don't believe me? Go to a coffee shop. Don't believe me? Come to church on Sunday. You will literally see people playing Candy Crush during a sermon that Dion gives. It's me. But here's the thing. There's another side of that. That fishing with holy dynamite, that paying attention can have extraordinary results. It can provide this explosion of faith that causes people that have been hiding in the shadows of their own homes to surface, to get caught by nets of holiness. I don't want to turn back to the way things were. I don't want to be anything other than spiritual dynamite. I want to walk out into the world, light some spiritual dynamite, and watch faithfully as it explodes all around me. I want to see people see the joy that I have, that faith brings me. I want to tell them about it in my own way. I'm tired of fearing the rules of polite society, aren't you? We got to say certain things a certain way. We have to act a certain way as Christians. No, you don't. Love God, love your neighbor. That's it. I'm sorry, did I miss a rule there? I'm also tired of being expected to be this perfect priest. Guess what? I'm not. I am a sinner. I'm not going to say I'm chief among you because I know some of you. But what I'll say is this. I am going to talk about Jesus in my own way because that's who Jesus called me to be. Who does Jesus call you to be? I'm tired of fearing. I'm tired of sounding crazy because I talk about Jesus at ball games or in bars. Where else are you supposed to do it? But most often and most of all, I am tired of returning home with empty nets and an empty heart. We've just witnessed the resurrection of Jesus Christ, and we're here to celebrate that, but we're not finished yet, folks. By this time next year, I want to see more people in the church. And I don't care about butts and seats. I care about hearts and souls. I don't want to see more people in the Episcopal Church of the Resurrection because it makes me look good. I want to see more people here because it makes them feel good. Are you tired of a world that tells you you are not good enough? None of you? Everybody feels good out in the world right now? Have you seen the news lately? It's horrible. It's horrible out there. But it doesn't have to be. I remember once that somebody told me I was naive and young and that I'd get over it. And that is probably the saddest statement I think I've ever heard. I don't want to be old and crusty if that's the point of Christianity. I want to stay young until I die. I want to retain this joy forever. I don't want the world to tell me that I can't talk openly about God because it makes me weird. I'm exhausted with folks making comments about my exuberance that makes me seem immature. You know how tiring that is? Oh, well, you just dance around and do things and say things and you don't prepare for sermons. Guess what? If you think that's the case, I would like to sell you some stuff. If you think this job is easy, I invite you to come do it. But also, if I think your job is easy, please don't invite me to do it because I have no idea how. I don't know what the real world is like. I don't know what it's like to get up and constantly be told by a boss or somebody else that you are not good enough. And some of you do. Some of you have been hurt by that. And for that, I apologize. Because Jesus Christ loves you, and you shouldn't be treated that way. Because you are loved, beloved creatures of God. Period. Full stop. No person in this congregation, whether you attend church once a day or once a millennium, deserves to be hated on. Nobody. Nobody here. If you're holding on to grudges, let them go. If you're holding on to anger, let it go. Don't let things live rent-free in your house. This is your house. I want us to walk through the world with our heads held high and not be afraid. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of having to give a bland message from a pulpit where I should be screaming the love of God, the gospel of God, and the truth of Jesus Christ. Amen? Anybody tired of coming and hearing a historical landmark of what Christianity was and should be and is, and it has no practical meaning in your life? Anybody? Or do you just want to come to church and sit as the frozen chosen, maybe not even pay attention, but you were here? Good for you. Because being in a garage makes you a truck just as much as being in a church makes you a Christian. Proud of you. You're killing it. I'm off script. So the thing I'll say the most is this. We live in a world right now where we do come to church twice a year, and I'm okay with that. A lot of families need that. There are times when people have to work. There are school schedules to meet. There are children to take care of. There are tests to take. We have parents going to school full-time while also being full-time parents. I mean, that's ridiculous and hard, but they're doing it and they're crushing it. We have people that are volunteering in this church every single day, and they have no sleep, but they're doing it. We have people who are looking for just a little modicum of love and respect. That's all they need. That's all you need. Anybody in here not want love and respect in their life? Anybody? How many people in here just want somebody to look at them and say, you know what? I never thought of it that way. Maybe you're right. We are Easter Christians living in a Black Friday world. It's time for us to stop consuming. And it's time for us to start including. It's time for us to stand up tall, to proclaim the message of Jesus Christ, to look at the cross and realize that we didn't die for the sins of the world. God did. It's our job to make sure that everybody else feels included, loved, nurtured. And when we have disagreements, it's our job to come to the table, that table right there, and kneel at these pews right here, take communion, receive grace, and then walk on. We don't carry grudges, we carry crosses. We don't hold anger in our heart. We let Jesus echo in our souls. I don't know about you, but I believe we live in a time of miracles. And one just happened. The miracle of Jesus Christ, who defeated death for good, who raised, who sat at the right hand of the Father, and who said, "Follow me, and I will show you how to love." That's all we have to do. Love one another as God loved us. Befriend one another as God called us friends. And realize that none of us are perfect, and yet all of us are perfectly made. The Easter message is this: none of you is beyond redemption, and neither am I. All of you are loved by Jesus Christ and met on the road to Emmaus, where he finds you. Know that and be loved.